Hi guys, how's it going? Just want to take you through some really quick and practical tips on how to use a capo to get the most out of this thing when playing the acoustic guitar or even the electric guitar as well. And especially in terms of transposing songs into different keys that are more suitable and easier to play on, especially on the acoustic guitar, but this also transfers to the electric guitar as well. So for example, if you're playing a song, the original song is in the key of F, there's a much easier way. Rather than playing that F chord, that F bar chord all the time, and playing all your bar chords, there's a much easier way. I'm going to show you in a minute how to do that, where you can play open chords and it sounds nicer and it's easier to play on the acoustic guitar. Or again, if the original song is in the key of something like B flat or A flat, that gets really hard playing all those bar chords, and I believe there's an easier way to do that using the capo, and I think it actually sounds a lot nicer when you use the capo and play in open chord shapes rather than playing bar chords all the time on the acoustic guitar especially. So I'll show you that in a minute. Firstly, the easiest way to use a capo is if the song is in a key that is too low for you, especially if you're just playing acoustic guitar by yourself and singing by yourself. The first level of using a capo is just taking the key up. Okay, a song that's in a low key and you want to take it higher, for example. If the song's in the key of G and that's just really too low for your voice, easy way to use the capo is just, maybe you want to put the capo on the 2nd fret or on the 3rd fret, and just take it up a key. Okay, but you don't want to change the chord shapes. You want to play the same chord shapes and have the same music chart. You can still play, G, C, D, E minor, whatever, and you don't have to change the chord chart or the chord shapes that you're using. You just take it up a key, it takes it higher. So now we're actually in the key of A. Take it up another 2, and we're in the key of B, but again, you're playing G chord shapes. Up one more, and you're in the key of C. Okay, so you might want to mess around with that if the key is not right for you, if it's too low or high or whatever. Just mess around with the capo and play the same chord shapes and see if you can find a key that suits your voice. So that's an easy way to do it, using the capo. Same with any key, so if it's in the original song is in the key of E, and again it's too low, again you might want to just take it up, put the capo on the 2nd fret, again play E, same chord shapes, and see what suits your voice. So that's the easiest use of the capo. But what I want to show you is how to use it basically to transpose a song, and using the capo in a way that will make it a lot easier and nicer for you to play a song that's in an uncomfortable key to play on the acoustic guitar. So I was saying before, if a song is in the key of F, now I don't know many guitar players who love playing that F bar chord all the time, and you're going to get really tired, and I don't think it's the nicest sounding chord anyway on the acoustic guitar. So a simple way to change that is the capo actually replaces your bar finger. This is an easy way, probably the easiest way to think of it. The capo replaces what your index finger is barring. So instead of your index finger doing all the work, the easiest way is to put your capo on the 1st fret there. Okay, and now, all right, instead of playing the F bar chord, what I am left with is an E shape. Okay, and I can play the same kind of chords, but in an open chord shapes now. So E, A, E, B, C sharp. All right? And you'll have to learn how to transpose from F. You know, the F becomes an E in terms of your shapes. The B flat becomes an A shape. And the C becomes a B shape. Okay? So you can do simple things like that. Again, if it's in what I was saying before, B flat, okay? So your B flat is here. Up on the 6th fret, you bar that. Again, the easiest way to change that into using a capo and changing it into shapes that are easy to play is put your capo where your bar finger normally goes, your index finger normally goes. Right on the 6th fret, you put your capo there. Okay, and now play in E shapes. Okay, so that's one way to do it. That's the easiest way to do it. But let me show you how you figure out a little bit more complicated transpositions going into, say for example, it is in B flat, and you don't want to play E chord shapes with the capo there. You would like to play it using G chord shapes, as if you were in the key of G. All right, so this is what I would do. Capo on the 3rd fret, and then this G chord is right here, and that is effectively a B flat now. You're still in the key of B flat. Okay, now let me show you how you figure that out. Basically, you do need to know a little bit of basic theory, music theory on the guitar. Don't freak out, it's not too difficult, but this is really practical theory. You really need to know this. If you're going to use the capo effectively and learn, you know, even finding bar chords and stuff, you have to know this basic theory. Okay, so let me take you through it. You need to know firstly what the open notes on the guitar are, and you need to have that memorized. These are E, A, D, G, B, and E. But for today, we're going to focus on the bass notes. This is known as the 6th string, and this is the 1st string. So the thickest string is the 6th, and the thinnest string, or the highest string, is the 1st string. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So 6th string, E, 5th string, A, and 4th string is D. That's what we're going to stick with today, because they're normally your bass notes, or the root notes with which the chords are based upon and named after. So, I'll give you an example. This is an E note, and that is an E chord. The root note of the E chord is right there. Okay, the bass note is on the 6th string, open E. Okay, this chord is named after that note. E chord. A, that's an A. Your A chord, the root note, is here on the 5th string, and that's an A. And that's an A chord. D, that's a D note, and that's the root note or the bass note of the D chord. Okay? Now this is really handy when you're doing bar chords and using the capo up the neck. So you need to know what the root notes of the chords are. That's going to help you a lot. G chord, for example. This is a G note. This bottom bass note is a G note, and that's your G chord. A C chord. On the 5th string now, that root note is a C note, and that's a C chord, okay? So let me show you how that applies to using the capo. But first, you need to understand how to figure out the notes on the same string as they go up the fretboard. So if this is an E, we go E, F, G, A, B, 7th fret, C, 8th fret, D is 10th fret, and then back to E, back up on the 12th fret, and you've got an octave. Open E, all of the notes repeat up on the 12th fret. It's called an octave, 8 notes apart, same note, 8 notes apart. Okay, E, E. All right, A string, A, 2nd fret, B, 3rd fret, C, 5th fret, D, 7th fret, E, 9th fret, sorry, I messed it up. What, 7, 8, 8th fret is F, the 10th fret is G, and then the 12th fret is back to A again. Okay, so sorry about that. E, F, F is right there. Okay, on the D string, D, E, F, up 1, G, A, B, C, and back to D. Okay, now you may have noticed some of the notes you go up 1 fret and some of the notes you go up 2 frets. And maybe you're confused about that if you don't understand music theory. Here's the basic rule to remember. Most of the notes are 2 frets apart. Okay, so for example, from F to G, you go up 1, 2. From G to A, you go up 1, 2. G, 1, 2, A. G, A. A to B, you go up 2. A, B. Okay? The only exceptions are between the notes E and F. There's only 1 fret, or 1 semitone we call it, 1 fret difference between E and F, and between B and C, there's only 1 fret difference. Okay? So E to F, there's 1. Okay, on the 5th string, E is here, E, 1 fret, F. And same with B and C. Here's a B note, right here, B, go up 1 to C. Again down here on the 5th string, B, go up 1 fret, and it's C. Okay, so if you can remember that, all of the others you go up 2, but E and F and B and C are together, just 1 fret apart. Now, how does that apply to using the capo? Well, you need to know the root notes so you can know what chords are you going to play. Instead of playing these difficult bar chords, you're going to play more open chords. Okay, so let me give you an example. If you know those root notes, if the song is in B flat, I have to find out where my B flat root note is. Let's stay on the 6th string for now. And we're going to go E, F, G, A, B. Now a flattened note is just 1 step lower. So B flat is 1 step below B, which is right there. And if it's a sharp, well, there's no B sharp, it's a C if it's a B sharp. But if you wanted to go sharp from B, you'd go up 1. Okay, flat is down 1, and sharp is up 1. Okay, but B flat is right here. There's my root note. So, that is where my B flat bar chord is. So I have some choices now, and I have to think what chords start with a root note on the E string, on the 6th string. And I can think of 2 chords off the top of my head. The first one is an E shape. So E chords start with the root note there. So, okay, if I want to make an E chord up here, then I put the capo there and I play an E there. And now that is a B flat. We are still in the key of B flat. Okay, one more chord that has a 6th string root note is the G chord. Okay, so I can figure out, all right, if I put the capo there on the 3rd fret, there we go, I can play the song as if it were in the key of G. open strings sound a lot sweeter than if I was trying to play. Okay, I think it sounds a lot better if you play something in an open, using open chord shapes like that. Be a lot more creative with the way you do strumming and all kinds of things. So, all right, let's take a different example. Let's say the song was in A flat. Okay, so E, F, G, A. Okay, flat, I've got to go down one. A flat. Again, we're staying on the 6th string. Okay, here's an A flat bar chord. Right there. Now, again, if I want 6th string root notes, what chords start with a 6th string root note? E and G. So we want an E shape. Now we can play A flat like that. Okay, again. That's your A flat there. So G, a G chord starts with the root note on the 6th string. And I just have to go back 3 frets and put the capo there. Voila. I think that sounds a ton sweeter than if I'm playing. And it's a lot easier to play, and it's a lot easier on your wrist and everything. So, so there's some examples on the 6th string root notes. Now, how about the 5th string root notes? Again, if we use the example of B flat, let's try some 5th string root note chords. Okay, we know that the A chord has a 5th string root note. That's your A there. Okay, now let's try and find a B flat note on the A string. So A, B, flatten it. And you can do an A-shaped bar chord right there. Now, again, instead of barring it with my finger, let's put the capo there. And this note here is now a B flat, and I can play A. Okay, and I could play, instead of playing all bar chords, I could play the song as if I were in the key of A and using open A chord shapes. The other common chord that has a 5th string root note is C. Okay, so that's your C note and that's your C chord. So let's imagine the song is in, okay, we're going to do E flat now. Again, a bit of a nasty key for guitar. E flat. So let's find the E flat on the A string. A, B, C, D, E. Take it down one to flatten it. E flat. Now I have to figure out, I want to play a C chord and the root note is here on the E flat. So that means I have to put the capo on the 3rd fret. Okay, and now it's as if we're playing in the key of C. Okay, but that's your E flat right there. So we're in the key of E flat. One more example I want to give you. I know this is kind of rushed, but I hope it gives you the idea, is D string root note chords, of course, which is D. All right. So again, if we are in E flat, let's find the E flat on the fourth string. D, E, E flat. There's an E flat right there. So what we can do is put the capo to get that note and get the open D chord, put the capo on the first fret, and that's your root note there, and play a D shape. Okay, and now we can play as if we're in the key of D. So there we go. I know that's fast, but I hope that gives you some little tips on how to use the capo effectively, especially if the song is in a bit of a nasty key for guitar, F, B flat, A flat, E flat, things like that. As long as you know the root notes, you can figure out how to transpose it into a guitar-friendly key. And in terms of the rest of working out the rest of the chords in the song, well, that's a bit of a different lesson. But basically, you need to become familiar with what chords are in the family of the key of D. So D, G, A, and B minor, okay, are the common ones. I'll take that capo off. And then, you know, you can pretty much work out the chords on your own. In the key of G, we have G, C, D, and E minor, okay? And in the key of E, E, A, B, C sharp minor, okay? In the key of C, we have C, F, G, and A minor. All right? So, and in the key of A, sorry. A, we've got A, D, E, and F sharp minor. So if you learn those chord families, and once you get into those particular keys using the capo, you're up here, capo there, this is, okay, so the song's in B flat. I can go G, there must be a C in there, and there's probably a D in there, and there's probably an E minor in there too. Okay, so you can probably work out the song like that. All right, so there it is. Some tips transposing with a capo. Hope that helps you, and see you next time.